So, did you approach the writing process for the new album differently than the previous records?
Well, not so much, maybe. It's usually the similar kind of thing that goes on, like in pre-production and production parts. The only thing that was different that I actually had a vocal producer, Björn Street from Soilworks. So in that case, it was different. But the whole process, including the music and stuff, was kind of similar than it's been for several albums now. It's that kind of thing that we have discovered that it works. So why fix it when it's not broken?
Very true. And what I read about, which I thought was hilarious, about how the album title came to life was Marcus spotted a hoodie in an airport, and he like had to convince you to make that the title. How did that work out?
Well, it was actually great. It was like last year we were touring China, and actually I think it was a train station or something like that, or an airport. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's a big place, and there was this guy with this hoodie which had like a similar text, not word for word, but similar kind of text in front of the hoodie, and uh, and he was like, okay, that's cool, and I said, yeah, that's kind of cool, and he was like half joking, like maybe we could make this an album title, and I was like, yeah, right, and then he really got into that and just like said to me that it would be really cool. That can we do it? And I was like, fine, of course we can do it. Like this is the first time in OG's history that you've actually came up with an album title, and I think it's cool because he is the founding member of the band. So it's cool that the 10th album is not the title is not uh, by me. It's by Marcus, and that's basically the story behind it.
Now, this album seems to go definitely a different direction than the previous record. And Walking Ghost Phase, I read, deals with more addiction and more of a sad track. Which, what were you aiming to express with those lyrics?
Well, actually, just that it's a sad state of affairs if one's whole life is controlled by, for example, a substance or a habit that is not so healthy for you. That's why there is this Chernobyl nuclear accident connection into that song also. So because things can get really catastrophic if you don't pay attention to your health and your mental health and your all like abusive sides of yourself. Yeah, that's like the main idea of the song.
So it's more of like just taking care of your health, or else.
Like in that sense, like your sanity and stuff like that. Okay, I'm not a judge of anyone. If people wanna like they should live their lives in whichever way they choose to live. But I'm just saying that there are super risky styles of living one's life, which can lead to darker paths that one may not be so ready for.
Right, and difficult to get out of.
Yes.
Now, for this album, which song was like felt more natural to you to write, and which one took the longest?
Like lyrically speaking, of course.
Yes.
I think when I got into the zone, so to say, it was pretty easy. I usually write like 3 4 different versions of each song, like the versions resembling one another more or less. And I would say this walking ghost face was one of the hardest lyrics because this album also has a loose theme of street things and stories from the street. So it's not something that I'm not so used to write about. Like in former albums, it's been a totally different stuff. But I'm really glad we did it with that loose theme because it kind of like gave me the chance to challenge my skills as a lyricist. So I think like the whole concept of and the whole album basically was a real challenge for me. But like, for example, Walking Ghostface was one of the hardest because the subject itself is quite sensitive, I would say.
Now, speaking of ghosts, you guys recorded the record in some of like unique places and eerie settings. Did like that have an influence to the atmosphere of the tracks?
I really cannot say. I think it could have, but those are those things are usually like more connected more to the spiritual world, whether you believe it or not. So I really cannot say. Maybe in some subconscious level that kind of thing can happen, but for like saying for sure that this really affected, that I cannot say for sure. Like I don't have the authority to make those kinds of claims.
A ghost or spirit didn't help you while you're in there?
I don't know if it did good. That's all right and that's good. But if it didn't, we have to be able, ghosts or spirits or no ghosts or spirits, we have to be able to stand as a band with our feet, like with our heads held up high. But it's a cool idea that kind of thing like can or could happen possibly. But really, I cannot say.
You'll be a complete different band after that.
True.
So which new track are you more excited about to perform live?
Oh, well, Barricades is one of my favorite songs of the album. Also, Ignite Flame. But we will see which of the new album's tracks are gonna be in the live set, because of course we will play the older songs as well. But those two, well, they are the faster ones on the album, and I'm always really excited to play the faster songs live because it really can show what the band dynamics and the group dynamics can be in a live situation when everybody has to have that focus to play faster songs in that sense that they are not just played through. They have the power and the strength in them at the same time, and that can be really difficult and hard to achieve sometimes. So for challenges sake, those two songs definitely.
Now, you've been with Omnium Gatherum for quite some time, and from when you started, has the definition of success changed for you since the early years?
Well, maybe in that sense that the dream always was to go around the world and play live shows for as much as people as possible, of course, and to metal people all around the world. So in that way, Omnium Gatherum definitely is a successful band. We're not the biggest band in the world, but I think the main goal was to spread our music to people who really want to come and see us play live. So in that sense, it hasn't changed so much, the whole idea, because I've always been really passionate about music and especially playing shows live. That's one of the reasons we are so active as a live band and try to play as many live shows as possible after each album that we release. And I think we are also quite fortunate to be able to reach like this kind of like place when you are already releasing your 10th album and you're still an active band, because not so many bands are able to like in a sense go that far. So I think we are really fortunate and blessed in that sense that we have been able to continue this thing and play these songs to a variety of people around the world. And I think personally for me that is really successful, and I'm happy happy about it.
I have to say that like so many bands lately have been calling it quits or constantly changing their singers and everything. And Omnium Gatherum has definitely like strived through all the challenges over the years. And you guys are always on the road and you have such a devoted fan base. So yeah, I guess that is definitely a way of success. So you've really like survived longer than many other bands too.
Well, that's for sure, and that's so like this is what I wanted to do. Like, I think like every like job and every like passion that like different people have, they are like equal and as important as like something else. And this is what I really wanted to do, and I've been, like I said, I've been really lucky to be able to do this like so much. Of course, it's sometimes stressful and it's sometimes tiresome to be on the road and like no sleep and always being ready for the next show. But that's the part that's like a part of the whole experience also, because there has to be some challenges from time to time. Like I'm talking loosely about negative things, and in retrospect, they maybe are not so negative that they would appear when experienced.
Oh
They're
yeah.
part of the job, basically.
Nothing is 100% perfect.
True.
Now, here's a fun question. If OG was a drink, what would it be? Beer, whiskey, vodka, or something else?
Definitely, I think nowadays definitely a beer. We actually made a couple of we have a couple of our own beers, but here in Finland, but definitely a beer. Everyone on this group loves beer. If it would be a drink, maybe it would be pina colada. I don't know.
Oh, you should have it if you ever do the 70,000 tons again, get a special signature pina colada drink.
Be fucking awesome.
Now, what is like, you guys do have a devoted fan base all over the world, especially from the
Mhm,
exposure on the cruise, too.
mhm.
Um, what is the most unexpected fan gift you've ever received?
I think like back in the day, when we like maybe the first time we played China ever, we got these like little action figures for made for like from like stage appearing. Like I think like somebody has made them like by hand, like handmade action figures. I still have it somewhere, and I have the microphone there, and that was pretty cool. And also we have had these drawings of us, and then like maybe some poems with the drawings or something like like maybe like try to make us as something from an like a short story or a novel or something. I think those kinds of like things that are given to us are the most original in a sense, because people who do those things, they really go through a lot of trouble to make those, and I think that is very cool.
Wow, that a whole like short story. That is awesome. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
I did not expect that. Um,
Mhm.
so, and then if OG was a soundtrack to a video game or movie, what would be the perfect fit for you guys?
Uh, for a video, personally, for a video game, for me, what genre? If I had to choose two, I would choose like definitely some kind of role playing game. We're not maybe so epic in that like Lord of the Rings epic kind of stuff, but still like a role playing game, maybe something like cyberpunk style, or like classical beat 'em up game, like for example Street Fighter or something like that, Mortal Kombat. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I could say that would be awesome. Um,
Yeah.
Now, after this album, do you guys have plans for album number 11, or are you just going by in the moment?
Well, now we're just going by the moment because we have a couple of tours coming, so we have to keep our focus there. And of course, there's always talks about the next album, but like not in a year or so. Now we focus on this thing, and then we start to think about the possible next album.
My last question for you is actually, is there anything else that you want to say or add about the new album?
Come and experience it a lot. I like live, so come to the shows. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah, where you guys are coming back to North America soon, so that would be nice to see.
Love it there. I think this is like the ninth time, which is so cool. Like like not so many bands, like even bigger bands from Finland, have been to North America like 9 times, and it's just so cool. And we're bringing have to advertise a little bit these two cool bands, Ethereal and Hinayana. We're bringing them with us, so it's gonna be a sick show.